So we'll start now. So hi everyone, I welcome you all to this webinar on hacking your career, exploring the world of cybersecurity by Group Captain Dr. M.K. Sharma. Let me tell you a few things about him. Group Captain Dr. Sharma, M.K. Sharma, is an officer of Indian Air Force with 28 years of illustrious service in the nation to the nation in cybersecurity space and has published two acclaimed books on cybersecurity. He is currently serving as a director at Defense Cyber Agency. Dr. Sharma has represented India at UN Consultation Committee on Information Security on Cyber Terrorism. He's a regular speaker on cybersecurity issues at ISRO, IISc, DIAT, NIAS, Delhi University, Pune University, and many more. He is also an ardent sportsman as a karate black belt, super randonneur, and a certified yoga instructor. So now I'll let Group Captain Dr. M.K. Sharma to take it from here.
Hello, and thank you. Should I kind of put my PPT up there?
Sure.
So I will share my screen and then we'll speak, right?
Sure.
So, all right. Hello, dear friends out there, the young India and the future of our country. Very, very good evening to all of you. Are you able to hear me? Say yes. Fantastic. All right. So how has been your day today? Is it raining in Jaipur? Like we have a drizzling out in New Delhi area. Do you have some kind of rains? And people from Bengaluru and from which all places the guys have come here?
So they are all from all over India.
All right. People are from Mumbai.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Vizag, I can see, and Coimbatore. Oh, wow. And some people from one neighboring Sri Lanka. Fantastic. And it's going to be really, exciting session today because I am delighted and I am really excited to see and talk to you the kind of very energetic and very well aware youngster of our country. So I think we can straight away go into the session. I would want to just know who all are having some kind of cybersecurity endeavors at their hand. Are they anybody who is doing something or wants to do something? You can say yes in the chat box if that is the case, and that will help me to pitch up my the talk later. Oh, fantastic! Sai Prakash is already into it. Aditya and Karthik. Okay, so many of you are there. So, okay, let me make a promise before we start and we set course. At the end of this session, we all, 100% of all of us are going to be cyber aware, one thing. And also, you are going to love cybersecurity, and some of them will convert into a marriage to cybersecurity at the end of the day in the later in life. So, to that extent, I think we must start our session. We had a small little news coming 2 days back, and the news is our Honorable Home Minister has announced, and the public statement, that cyber threats are now a matter of national security. This comes from a government agency at the highest level. And so we must understand how important it has become and no more a ghost story or no more a thing which only some people should be talking about. All of us are into it. And I'm starting this session and with a very big announcement that all of you can win 10 lakhs rupees today. All right, that is a challenge put up by Government of India. And we are party to it. So you crack this challenge and get 10 lakhs of rupees. There is this quantum secure communication link that has been established in Delhi between two government offices. They are they are 30 kilometers apart on an OFC. And if you can break its code, if you can break into the system, 10 lakh rupees per break. So that's the kind of things that the challenges that the even government is throwing. So this is how exciting it could be if you are into this field and if you could really think of something, very exciting about new technologies and do something about, these kind of big bounty programs that keep happening all over the world. Now, at this stage, I have realized that many of you are into and aware, like Meenakshi Seni is still, get into it, learning. Everybody is learning, actually. If you stop learning, you are stale and you are just gone out of the page. So I am thinking that why am I speaking of cybersecurity to such a, well-aware and intelligent audience? You people know it all, actually. And because when I was invited over for this particular talk, I thought very hard that with such a fantastic audience, what would I speak of? It's known, everybody knows cybersecurity issues, and every day we keep hearing what all is happening. Our All India Medical Sciences got, into ransomware, and we had to, shell out some 200 crore rupees to get rid of all those problems. And everybody's aware of what all is happening. So instead, I have a different plan today, actually. And I'm sharing this plan that I have thought of a very, very simple 3 solutions to all cybersecurity problems of the world. And if we, all of us, agree to one of these solutions, off the air I go, or we could watch a small little movie, or you could do something else, and you will not be tortured with all those PPTs and things like that. So should I put up those 3 solutions, and then if we all agree and call it a day? Say yes or no. Yeah, all right. So the first solution of how our IT departments should function could be, couldn't this be a better way? All right. No, I don't think people are not taking this very seriously. Okay, our cybersecurity consultants, the real consultants, this is how they should work. And I think all the problems will be solved. I don't see many hands raising and saying yes. So I am running sort of options. The third option is here, which is our Chief Information Security Officer. If you don't look at the problem, there is no problem at all. Yes. So Abhishek is with me, but not many others. So fantastic. I think a lot of people are, looking at the simple solution, but I am reminded of a dictum which says that all complex problems of the world have very simple, easy to understand, wrong solutions. Guys, this is not how the world works. So I am actually now compelled to carry on with my presentation, and we'll discuss and we'll carry on and we'll move at a little faster pace. I think a lot of things, and we will I have a small little 3 short stories to share today. Actually, there is nothing more. We will conceptually understand this technology initially, how it behaves, what are the threats and vulnerabilities associated with this cyber technology, and then we see at national level what we people do, how national information, critical information infrastructure is formed, how it is being protected, what are the agencies, what happens, and a small little Stuxnet story. It's a case study. We will go through this, and this is one landmark story because this is when it was, kind of established that a cyber weapon can create a physical destruction. So we'll see that. And certainly the most important part of the whole story is the personal level, skills and careers in cybersecurity. What all lies for you guys, what all you are required to do, what kind of certifications are required, what kind of approach your understanding and journey could be. We'll speak of all that and small little things about your personal cyber hygiene that is available online everywhere. I'm not the master of that, but we'll just go ahead for the part of it. All right. So how do you understand? These are the small little definitions. I would want to say that you would understand what is cyberspace. This is how cyberspace looks to all of us. I think we would all agree that you have there is something called a small little our own computer, which has got a small little computational resources, and then you have servers which are actually having bigger resources standing somewhere else, and there is a technology which connects these 2 parts or through various means, and that is twisted pair, optical fiber cable, satellites, Wi-Fi, wireless communication, and things like that. Now, this is how cyberspace looks like. But again, my point here is to this particular aspect, that cyberspace is a bioelectronic environment. What does it mean? It simply means that this cyberspace includes all of us. Bioelectronic, we are part of cyberspace. Whatever happens in our mind can be hacked, and it is being hacked through social engineering methods. So we also form part of it. So I wanted to emphasize only on that. And then there is a information security, cyber security, and network security. You will understand that information security is the superset under which lies the cyber security. Like if there is a information on this particular paper, security of this particular information forms part of information security and not the cyber security. Now, if there is a problem in my mobile set and there is a security issue, it is cyber security, but it is also part of a larger envelope of information security. Only to that extent, I think you are very intelligent to grasp all this. So we come back to our own cyberspace. So there are three types of resources. One is your personal resources, small little computational capacity. You have servers which are placed somewhere else, and they are connected with this particular technology. Say on internet, it is flowing through sea lanes of communication, through satellites, through many other mediums of communication. Now, why I am speaking of all this? You must understand that this particular device is under our own control. The SAN area, the server controls are still in some premise in buildings, but this particular area, the active devices, routers, cables, Wi-Fi connections, they are outside our premises in control and building. So they are subject to a lot of external observation. If somebody wants to finger, this is the place most likely somebody can observe, do something, and harm your systems. Now, can anybody and everybody observe similarly at par? No, that is the game. So that we must understand. What is the difference between two cyber powers? So I will tell you, the people who are owning the sea lanes of communication, the agencies, the governments, the entities, and the people who have proprietary technology of observing. There are specialized sensors and tools. If you have that proprietary technology, you can observe more so that you can create more harm also. And also the people who have, the countries who have most of the servers placed in their own territory, physical space. So US has at least 50% of the world servers placed inside their territory. So those people will certainly reign more power, will wield more power on cyber security aspects. So very important to understand that, yes, it is digital and global, but geography is still very important and meaningful. And it is not about where you put more computers, you become a cyber power. That in that case, Singapore would have been cyber power. No, what you control on these technologies makes you more powerful, and of course more money, is no denying. So to that extent, I think we have understood this. Let me tell you, and let me go to a small little cyber system. And when we understand this cyber system, we will be able to understand security issues and where all we can find jobs. So say we take an example of Manipal University, and this something like this it will look. You have 4 quadrants of the resources. You have your own laptops and PCs and tablets, and which are connected to the servers. Many types of servers would be available in the university. You will have web server, mail server, and database server, and things like that. And you will have resources in databases which will be fetched for you through your device using the networks. This could be a LAN or a wide area network or internet or intranet. Generally, any cyber system looks like this on a conceptual level. It could be an aircraft system. It could be a stock exchange, similar kind of devices. And this is how it works. We will understand with this example so that it's very easy to then thereafter secure it. So what can go wrong with this? How can this system be affected? First of all, even leave that. What are you looking at? What do you expect out of this system? As a student, you go to the university and you have your own laptop. You log on to, say, library system, library management system in the network through some server. You want some information, some books or some kind of a course material to be downloaded. This is the kind of thing that you expect. So the tenets of such systems are like this. You should have availability of the material and resources. You should have integrity. It means it's not be altered without your knowledge. And you should have confidentiality. It means your results of semester results should not be visible to one and everybody. It should be always only with the kind of a chief exam controller or yourself. And authenticity means you should be able to say that I am the legitimate student so that I can have access to this particular record. Now, these tenets, if it is behaving this way, then you are happy. But sometimes it doesn't behave this way. There are problems, there are server crashes, there are bombings in terms of some people exfiltrate information, and some of the smart, so-called smart students also get into their network and exfiltrate the exam question papers. That is a behavior we don't expect and we don't want that to happen. But to fail this particular system, cyber system, it could be done in two ways. One is physics failure. It means there is a some physical damage or some flood or some electrical fire or something has happened. The information is not now available. That is understandable and is fine. But there is another way of altering its behavior. That is through artificial failure. Artificial failure means I am going inside a system in a way where in a way which I'm not supposed to, and doing something which I'm not supposed to do. That's called hacking. And this hacking is done in many ways. You must be aware. It's a very basic thing. So on all these tenets, what kind of attacks can be launched so that the expected behavior of my cyber system changes, and which is a very something. That is where the cyber security takes birth. So there is a small little matrix of how different types of attacks can be launched to have changes in availability of the resources, integrity, confidentiality, and authenticity. There are many other models. I have just taken one of them. So, but you should understand that the hackers have, these are the tools, these are the malwares, these are the tools, these are the weapons that they launch to change that behavior. And we as security providers are supposed to understand this, stop this, prevent this, and also make sure that it doesn't happen in the future. That is the whole game. I will give you another very important slide. I think you must all remember this. I'm a martial artist, as was spoken, and I would make you understand in terms of what happens when what are the three scenarios that a cyber system will be attacked and you will have information. So many of you would be boxers or martial artists, and students play a lot of basketball and all that. So I would want you to stay awake and alert and relate to this particular situation. Say if there's somebody is actually punching you in the movement, what do you do? What a human, because every technology is mimicking our own brain. Nothing more than that has ever happened till date, even ChatGPT 4.0. So we are going to mimic the human brain's behavior. So if somebody punches you, what you do? It is coming with a very high force velocity. So you somehow sense the whole movement and the momentum, and your eyes and ears feel some kind of air pressure, and you do some action, take some action, you duck, or you block, or you do some kind of action so that immediate damage is not done, or it is mitigated. This is one set of technologies in cybersecurity, which is real-time reactions, which includes intrusion detection systems, intrusion prevention systems. We will call them as IDS and IPS hereafter. Firewalls, sensors. Because what had happened when you were being punched, what was the most important thing that could have saved you? What was the most important that could have saved you? I want some, kind of, you pop up on the chat box. What do you think that if you are getting punched, what is the most important thing that could have saved you? Sensors, your eyes, your ears. It is, yeah. What is the name of Chief Information Security Officer? Okay, CISOs are there in every organization. So I will come to that. I think we will understand that. So I will go a little slow. Don't worry. Hindi, English is fine. And if there is anything, I think because we have people from all over, so I'll stick to English for now. But we can certainly come in the, kind of section. You would be able to understand speaking very simple English. So if you are getting punched, and you take some direct actions, these are the kind of technologies. If your cyber system is getting attacked right now, then these are the technologies which will save your system, mitigate or prevent the damage. And this is one part of the cyber security employment. So if you understand these technologies, you have the job in this particular aspect. And there is another situation. You come in the morning, you know your system has been already hacked. So somebody has already punched. So what do? You just do post-mortem. Basically, you try to understand how this attack was done, why this attack was done, what all damage has happened. So this forms part of another discipline called cyber forensics. So you have a lot of tools. You extract the information, and you also extract the information which is volatile, like your RAM. It is like, smoking gun evidence. You take that particular machine to your lab and then try to see what all was done, so that one is that you obviate the future attacks, and you also understand the attack structure of how it was done. And there is other set of technology in cyber security where you just think that there is an intention in the other person. Say somebody say Saurabh Yadav says that, say Saurabh Yadav, I understand that Saurabh Yadav is going to do some harm to me. I'm just thinking that he has this intention, and I plan and go to his place and I do, something so that he doesn't, he's not able to attack me in future. He has not done anything. There is no imminent threat, but still, if you go in that parlance of cybersecurity, you go through wires, OFCs in the other country, and go into their systems and find out if they are about to do something bad to our cybersecurity systems. And in that case, you start attacking. At least this is how US thinks, which is a controversial subject, because the Bush doctrine on this was very much criticized. But this is another technology called preemptive technologies, directing and monitoring technology, where you would have heard the technology of PRISM, and there are other things which are heard of in India also. So Pegasus, you must have all heard. These are the technologies where they are just looking at the intentions of the people or the entities. Before they can attack, they are being obliterated. So these are the three kinds of things. And in the whole of the cyber space, there is nothing that does not fall in these four quadrants. All the technologies of cybersecurity is either confidential communication type, or it is integrating, or it is isolating, or it is monitoring. See, what is happening? You have your own laptop or mobile, but you want to connect to other mobile or other server in the US or Australia. So you need some kind of networking. So integration has to happen. So integration will happen through networking, through medium, like optical fiber cable, WiMAX, Wi-Fi, other things. So these are the group of technologies which are working on networking part, so integration technologies. But when I get integrated, I still want my own cyberspace. I don't want everybody to come and go. So how do you isolate? How do you say that this is my space, don't come inside? So you write some policies, software policies, where you say only these people who are authorized, authenticated will be able to connect to my system. These are isolation technologies, firewalls, cloud computing, fog computing, edge computing, which controls the access to your own system. So these are another set of technologies. Monitoring, directing, we have already seen the Pegasus and Prism and those kind of technologies. So confidential communication is basically person A to person B. If there is a message supposed to go, then nobody else should be able to understand or listen or get that message. So encryption happens and decryption happens at the receiver end. So there is a secure and confidential communication happening. So there are many technologies like public key infrastructure, RSA algorithms, and AES and DES and things like that. Just to give you a glance that there is nothing in cybersecurity which does not fall in these 4 quadrants. All right, with me, say yes. If it is fine, then we'll go ahead and go to the better slides, better things. All right. Let's understand at national level what we people do. See, any nation has got its national power. And this national power is defined in terms of economic wealth, military might, political will, science and technology, and international trade. These are the elements of national power. But what has happened, mainly because of the overarching dependence of all these assets on cyber, because everything is residing and operating from cyber. All the, see, your utility space, your power, water, your distribution of ration, your Manrega, your Aadhaar payments, science and technology, everything is the underlying enabler is cyber technology. So cyber has come to become an element of national power. So important it is. It's a new entrant, and this is creating a paradigm shift. What is the paradigm shift? What is the difference? How does it like bother me? It bothers me in 2 ways. One, that the common sense of geography has changed. That common sense of geography, that there is something which is very far and very near. Today, I can amass cyber resources far away from my country and use it against that country only. The boats that are being used today by Russia against Ukraine, many of the computers are actually residing in Ukraine only. You understand? So there is this sense of geography has changed. If I have to send a tank, then it has to originate from my country. But today I can originate boats and create a DDoS attack using enemies' computer systems only. So the sense of geography has altered. Other thing that the economic damage is going to be the primary and main concern for any war waging. Why? Because if you disrupt their public utility area, your ATMs can be hacked and things like that, then the economic harm to the industry and the general populace will be so high that the enemy would want to submit to your will. So these are the 2 changes that have happened. And also you understand that every kind of war, the kinetic or non-kinetic, will be preceded. The initial phase will always be cyber, because cyber softens the target. It creates a lot of, like Russia has been launching very heavy cyber attacks on Ukraine for last 5 years to finally launch attack on their electrical distribution system, on their fuel flow systems, on their many other infrastructures. So then it puts that country into a big problem, and then you go and attack. So this is another aspect we must understand, that it will always be preceded by some kind of cyber warfare. So this is how important it has become. Let's see, there's another major kind of change that has happened over a period of time, that the vulnerabilities have come of age from mere password cracking to backdoors and sniffers and sweepers. Now in 2000 and above, there are very, very high level of sophistication of attack has happened, that is packet forging, spoofing, something called advanced persistent threat. And this does not require any technical knowledge. Any means it is very easy. So the technical knowledge required to use these attacks have drastically reduced. This is a problem. You type in how to attack a particular system, you will have some 150,000 entries in Google, and you pick up one and ask ChatGPT to write a malware code for this particular attack. The code is generated and given to you. You don't require to be a coder. You don't require to be an inventor. So this ease of using cyber weapons is a cause of concern, is a big worry all over. And that is where the whole world is working. And this cat and mouse game is on. And we are, that's what is our employment basically. All right. So there is a little bit of cyber in everybody's life. You understand. Today we ask our own small little kids what is 3 most important things in their life. They will not say roti kapda aur makan. It would be Google, Internet, and Facebook. So that is the kind of thing that we are looking at. My point here is, how do you attack a cyber system? So when you attack a cyber system, you need vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities is very important. Must understand. So if vulnerabilities are important, I am going to speak about a very special case of vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities are basically of a kind of error in the code, and zero-day vulnerability is the error in code which has not been discovered by even programmers, the developers. So zero-day vulnerability comes and it stays for around 130 days unnoticed. So I would want to ask that if you find a zero-day vulnerability in a Microsoft Office, say 2010, that I have found a particular vulnerability, what you would do with that? What would you do with that? And could you just come on the chat? That answer I would need. If you found a vulnerability, if you found a coding error in a Microsoft application, what would you do with that? So that's very important question, because that is how it will decide whether you are good fit for a cybersecurity job, or you will have to look at some other areas. All right. So let me see if anybody is awake. Yes. So what would you do? There are two options actually. So I can directly go to Microsoft and say, I have found this. And yeah, there are some hands raised. If you could put your this thing in chat, I think that would be better, because I am having a single device today. Yeah, so maybe. Oh, great. So yes, lot of comments, and it's so good, so fantastic. I am just scrolling it down. I just wanted to tell you that you could report this vulnerability to say to the Microsoft and say, this is the problem, you please fix it. Or you could kind of sell it to some of the people. There are people who are buying these vulnerabilities. So this is called bug bounty program. People are there to buy these vulnerabilities. And if you want to see that these are the companies who are spending a lot of money on buying those vulnerabilities, zero-day vulnerabilities. They're very important, because in those 100 days, a lot of damage can be done. And there are also people who are rogue, who are the companies who buy and sell it to the governments, the people like the US government, the other government people, who will use it against their own targets. So I have Prakhar telling that we are always already being monitored by OpenAI, Google for made. So malware creation is still not a script kiddie job. Yes, very correctly put. But there is a small little caveat to this. I will certainly come back to you. But short answer is that yet ChatGPT is not writing any malware code. It is just picking up from the GitHub. So that ingenuity of human being is still supreme and will continue to be. We'll speak of ChatGPT. All right. So US National Security Agency has spent a lot of money, and everybody else is spending without declaring it. So vulnerabilities are so very important. So this was one point, that if you find a zero-day vulnerability, you can earn a lot of money. So when I said that I have a big bounty program of 10 lakhs rupees today, if you can crack this, this will be the first zero-day vulnerability for that link that has been established using quantum technology, and that will fetch you 10 lakhs of rupees. So this is the importance of vulnerabilities. All right. So also there's one very special case. If anybody is interested, you can go on the net and find and read about Suitor technology. Why I am putting this is that if you want to go into research in cybersecurity, you must understand that if my system is air gapped, not connected to anything, or I have electrically also separated, electromagnetically different and separated, still this computer can be hacked. There are technologies and systems already in the world which can enter into computer communication links, which has been used by US and Iraq twice. This suite is put on an aerial platform like an aircraft, and when it flies in the vicinity of a link, it can interfere with the communication link between two computers, and it can manipulate it. So what had happened when Israeli forces wanted to go into Syria, They used this particular aircraft with that shooter suite, and it changed the direction of the radars by interfering with the communication links between their radar and control systems, and the other fighter aircrafts went undetected. So this technology has made those aircrafts stealth. That is the power. That is the power of cyber technology. So there is so much, and there is no panacea. There is no last word. This will not be done. No, technology gives you everything. So this will be done. You need to analyze how much danger and vulnerability are reported to be a particular organization. Yes, this is what the job of a cybersecurity analyst or cybersecurity professional is, and there are ways. So if you understand this particular technology, you will be able to see how it happens. Now, I am coming to a very important aspect, and then we will get on to the brass tacks of what and how the nut bolts of the cybersecurity. At the national level, we have something called National Critical Information Infrastructures, NCII. We have identified, India has identified some 14 sectors, and still the deliberations are on. These sectors are considered as critical information infrastructure and are to be protected. Now you can look at the sectors: banking, e-governance portals, all those, the PDFs, and space, chemical technology, law enforcement agencies, public health, water supply, energy, defense, transport, all those kind of. Why am I showing this? Actually, it is not as simple as it looks on the screen. Understand? It is not those small little boxes and silos that are put here, and this is how it is actually there. No. And let me tell you, without meaning any offense, this looks like a boy's brain, like, every different, it has got every different boxes for different work. Is one for work, one for parents, one for wife, and one for some other work. And whenever the boy wants to do something, he goes to that particular box and does that work, closes that box, and off and he does the next thing. But neither life nor the NCII is that simple. It's not that simple. It's more like girl's brain, where everything is connected to everything. And it's connected because you would remember that we have a different kind of memory, and girls have boys have different, and girls have a very different kind of understanding. They would remember that 4 years back on this party, someone was wearing this particular earring, and this is when I came, and this was the date, and this is how you sat, and this is how you entered. Colors of the dresses, everything they would be able to recollect, because there is this emotional energy which is fusing all the activities that happen, which is how the NCII also looks at. This is how a glimpse of our critical information infrastructures. Look at this. Transportation requires water. It moves on diesel, but it moves on road, so it requires electrical connection. Electricity requires fuel and generators. And this whole thing is being controlled by something called SCADA. SCADA is supervisory control and acquisition system. Basically, there are these hardwares which are controlling the flow of fuel, electricity, and industrial processes. And we are so interrelated and connected that we are in a situation where kill one, kill all can happen. So this is how NCII is. So interdependencies, distribution, and all those things are to be understood when you deal with such systems. All right. So these are, I've done a study on 11 countries. So these are the kind of things that they have calculated. How do you protect this particular critical structure? So it's a very simple way of segregating the assets. When your house on fire, what 2 suitcases to take at the first time. So same thing is here. Like I have put, this is a innermost cyber circle where the NCII resides. So all the information has to be kept and guarded in one particular circle. Then there is another circle of less important aspects, and then there is an outer circle. How do you save and prevent damage from different types of attackers to this particular CII? So attackers are very different levels. It is very easy to understand. There are individual level, there are organizational groups, there are criminals who will just try to get some money or some wire theft. And espionage is one field where these are the people who are sponsored by the governments, have a lot of resources and money, and very dangerous. They can, they have all the resources. So how do you find what kind of damage when you want to assess the risk. How do you assess the risk on our CII? So the worst kind of attack on the innermost cyber center of gravity, if that is calculated, then you come at a threat and risk matrix. So those are the kind of, it's a very simplistically put, but that is how the whole thing happens, very plainly speaking. And we need to end by 7:05, I am told. So I will have to really rush. Now, this is how at the country level looks, the organization looks. So you have National Security Advisor, you have Cyber Security Coordinator, you have something called NTRO, National Technical Research Organization. It is responsible for protection of CII. So we have CERT in, that is Computer Emergency Response Team India. We have cyber police stations. We have CERT, sectoral CERTs, FinCERT, Rail CERT, and like those kind of organizations. So you have a system in place in the country who looks after the protection of CII. So I think I will have to tell you some of the very, very good things that are happening in our country in the last 5 to 10 years. We have come up with the National Cybersecurity Policy in 2013. We have something called CII Protection Center under NTRO. Chips are getting manufactured with the MOU with US, which is also a very good indicator. And we are the kind of countries, a few countries who have the crisis management plan for countering cyber attacks. We have also developed L3 level of switches in consultation with ECIL and IIT Mumbai. And there is this thing which is coming up. You all will see that there is something called Bhar OS. This is Bharat operating system for Androids in India, for Android mobile. So we will be independent of the other, operating systems where per force you have to, get some of the apps and all that. So that kind of thing is happening at the government level. This is already under testing, and maybe in some months' time it will be out. So that is the kind of endeavor that is taking place. India has got within first 10 ranks in kind of a global cybersecurity index. That's a very good news. So so this speaks of what kind of effort that's for Apple. Presently it is not happening. It's for Android initially, and when it gets it is under testing and evaluation. Basically VNPT is on, and certainly for iOS also there is a plan. So things will keep happening. Now, cybersecurity professionals. How do cybersecurity professionals live their life? What are their challenges, and what you can do, where you can find employment, is the thing that I think you all must now kind of wake up and say what is happening. Any cyber system is having these kind of challenges that you understand. Multi-entries, dynamic sessions are on, always many-to-many communication, and cybersecurity engineers are always foxed with such issues, and they are managing one to other, and there are a lot of solutions that are on the horizon. But before I jump into this, I just want to have a quick review of what is your kind of understanding of what was the first ever password in your opinion. Just let it come on the chat. What was the first password, and what was the first firewall in your opinion, in whatever way you can think? Oh, fantastic. Piyush says this is 1 2 3 4 5 8 9 0. I think no, you need to read history a little. Yeah, history, mythology. Yeah, password. So these are the Gen Z kind of most first ever kind of thing. Yeah, Chanchal Patna 12a @ wow. So we understand a lot of people are using this, but I also am interested in our own mythology, and you would actually relate to it. The first ever password was Khulja Sim Sim. You must understand the concept, because security was very important even then. Does that make any sense? Yeah, certainly. That's how it is, Kumar Utsav. And now let's see, what was the first ever firewall? First ever firewall. If you could think of anything. So let me give it to you, Lakshman Rekha, because the firewall was breached and the whole world came loose on the Lord Rama. You understand this was basically to wake you up and let's understand the problems and the peculiarities of the cybersecurity advisor. You understand that anybody can dance and anybody can cook, but anybody cannot perform an open heart surgery. That is the burden of my song. Cybersecurity is a highly specialized work. It requires very specialized work and also continuous efforts to learn and get to some level of expertise and understanding. It is not a work of a normal IT professional. So this must be understood by the top leaders and also by the other people. We will come to a very small case study, just 2 minutes in onto Stuxnet. What had happened was that this is a story of Iran. Iran's nuclear facility getting attacked by XYZ. People say it was US, but you can't write it. Iran was developing a weapon grade enrichment of the uranium in Natanz facility of their nuclear facility. Everything was very well guarded, you can understand. Over a period of time, this advanced persistent threat thing worked. And what happened that the social engineering was used. Social engineering was used by there was a pen drive which was somehow handed over or dropped near his car of a person who was the vendor's engineer. And over a period of time, this particular pen drive, flash drive was used by this engineer to patch some updates in the system. Now, this 200 MB data that was there, which had a malware, which kept sitting in the system, did not do anything. It looked for a very special, very particular model of Siemens PLC. PLCs are pulse logic controllers, basically a SCADA system device, which controls the flow and the speed of the devices, the centrifuges that enrich the uranium. But it kept on sitting, and the next update when happened, it also connected to a C2 server. C2 server is a command and control server from where it got more updates. Next, it used a digital certificate. It's very important. It's a certificate which says that I am a legitimate program. Let me go inside the system. So this is another technology where the jobs are available. Now, this was used and it replicated all the process of that code, and that replicated code was running for the control panels. So control panels kept on seeing the correct RPM, correct speed, correct temperature, everything. In the background, what it did was very interesting. What happened? The speed control was getting corrected at every 5 milliseconds. It's a very high speed rotating machine. It changed this 5 milliseconds to 500 milliseconds. That is it. So next time when speed went up, it did not correct it to come down for 500 milliseconds, and it sped to such a high level that it blasts itself, and 70% of the uranium enrichment, these all vessels got blasted. And the Iran nuclear plant got back by at least 10 years without firing a bullet, without sending a tank, without flying an aircraft. That is the beauty of cyber weapons. Earlier on, this used to happen when a lot of aircraft would come. 1981, Israel had moved a lot of aircraft when they wanted to attack Osirak facility. So this is the kind of thing that I want to tell you. Now we are at the brass tacks. Nagendra wants to say something. Yeah, please come up. We have this particular thing with this particular slide. You must understand that at every level there are some steps to be taken to secure a cyber system, and every level there are different jobs available. So at strategy level, you should have a vision. There CISO, Chief Information Security Officer, sits here. And at the policy level, you should have best practices, the certain policies, the computer security instructions, the audit procedures. At network level, we should have hardware, software, and networking devices, monitoring, and things like that. At application layer, you should have the HTTPS, the public key infrastructure, Active Directory, antivirus. So this is another aspect of security that happens at application layer. At physical layer, basically in your offices or in your home, where physical layer, the information, secure information is residing, You should have got biometric entry or iris level of entry, the locks in the offices, the IP cameras which can monitor, the guard, the physical guard, everything comes under part of cybersecurity. And anti-rodent measures. If the mice play and have their day and they cut the cables and wires, you are losing the availability of information. So that is part of CIA trial. So those are the kind of thing at individual level, we all understand what all it is. So a secure system would generally look like this. I'm not going to invest much time on this. This is basically you are having a good quality training, policy procedures are being implemented, and cyber insurances are another new field. Cyber insurances are happening, and acceptable use policy is implemented. Acceptable use policy is an ethical thing where you are expecting the other end user to behave in such a way that, okay, he will do 1, 2, 3, 4 things, and those are written instructions. Budget is very important. You have to tell the higher management that how important this is to fund the programs of cybersecurity. Data security, everybody understands, and network security. Now come to what are the kind of jobs that you might have. All right. CISO, everybody understand, this is the top-notch position. Chief Information Security Officer, he is required to communicate to the higher management the requirements, the strategy of cybersecurity, and he should understand overall everything on cybersecurity aspect overall, and should be able to communicate. His skills are lying in communication to the higher management, and also to overall draft a vision. Then you have other kind of employments which are like SOC analyst. SOC analyst is basically security operations center, where solutions like SIEM solution, there is a SIEM, SIEM solutions, which are security in information and event management systems. A lot of companies like Splunk, the QRadar by IBM, and our own homegrown company called InSpark, which is generally a kind of offshoot of our Amrita University. These are the companies which are providing these SIEM solutions, where a lot of logs from all the connected clients come. They analyze. This particular professional has to analyze them and also create some kind of playlist so that there is an automated action that can be taken. So there is a source solution inside the SOC, which is kind of a system orchestrated response action. And such work is required to be done. And this person generally at a lower level would fetch presently anything between 9 lakhs to 12 lakhs LPA kind of thing. And then you have network security analyst. They are basically at the network level. Security analyst, CCNA, and other certifications are important to them. This is another job post where, if you are interested, you can go into some certification with after a graduation degree in computer science. You have red teamer and blue teamer. These are the red teamers are basically penetration testers. Those are the people who will ethically try to hack your system on a mandate, and then tell you that these are the weaknesses and vulnerabilities, and this is how you can mitigate them. And blue teamers are the people who are defenders, who are supposed to thwart any kind of attack that red teamer would want to put on the system. So this is these two people, they are also in demand, very much in demand, very specialized work. And anything, red teamers would get more because they can also use their skills to become a bug bounty programmer. They can, you know, as an independent researcher, they can get a lot of money. Security consultant, cybersecurity consultant are the people who talk. They understand and talk. Basically, they employ and ensure that the policies are implemented, that the procedures are followed, that the standard operating procedures are happening, the vulnerability analysis, annual analysis, 6-month analysis, that is all is happening. Compliances are seen. If there is any requirement of writing any policy or this thing, that is their job. And then they consult the CISO basically to say that, sir, we require such systems to monitor it more vigorously. Otherwise, we are going to have problems. And CISO's job is to justify this to the higher management and get funds. Pen testers are the red teamers, basically, penetration testers, we spoke. Security auditors. This is a very specialized job. You work as an auditor, and it can be very highly paying. You can work as an independent auditor, or you can work in a company. Independent auditors, for one audit, he can charge you around 1 lakh rupees for a week's job. If you are certified CISA certified person, and quality cloud security analysts are also going to be in high demand, because what cloud has done, I think you will understand, the cloud has brought the computation power nearer to the endpoint. Earlier, it used to be in the big databases, and then it would come at application layer, and the calculations will happen in the. Now, what has happened? The lot of computation has happened here. Nothing is residing in the database. Everything is happening in cloud. So it is very easy. There is another way of looking at it, that there is something called fog computing or edge computing, which requires the calculations have to be very fast, like self-driving cars. You do not have time for it to go to cloud and get the decision. So on the edge of the network, in the last, like in the car itself, there will be a small computational capability, which will say whether to brake or not. So those are the kind of things that are required, and this is in very much demand. Malware analysts are basically people who have 4 eyes, 2 eyes in front, 2 eyes in the back, because you have to, if you have a malware, you have to understand what it could have done, but you also want to go back how it was proliferating, what it to happen. So reverse engineering and a lot of things, specialized things that come into this. So I think I am just running short of time. These are the things that I would want to leave you with, because certifications, these are the global certifications I recommend, depending upon in which field you would want to go. And I have listed almost all good institutions. Certified ethical hacker for red teamers, for penetration testers, fantastic thing. OSCP is again very offensive, very specialized thing. This certificate is kind of it's not easy to get, but it is also very much in demand. Security Plus by CompTIA, it's another certificate for security person. This is a beginner certificate. This, I think, by EJPT, Junior Penetration Tester. It's to start with, and just the fee is also not high. For some certifications, fee is also very high. So all that you will have to see on what is going to be more advantageous in initial times, and then you join a company. Sometimes the companies sponsor the certification fee and all that. So you will have to really juggle out and see in which field you will feel good, if you are really that kind of a person. And there is this important certificate, CISSP. This is by ISC Square. This is the very well sought after certification. You can read more about this particular certification. This is in demand. And CISM is the certification which is required for the higher positions like CISO. CISA is the auditor certificate. We had the CISA's job position, which is the auditor certificate. But this is a certification in information security management. Is basically for higher management. CCN and CCNP, I would not recommend it to be done in the first, because the demands for other certificates are very high. This is basically confined to the Cisco technology, and Cisco certified the earlier 10 years back, it was very much in demand. Now we have many other kind of certifications where overall understanding of network is required, overall understanding of, there is a lot of data, there is a lot of things that are available on net. GitHub, everybody understands. Go to GitHub, try to exploit. A lot of things are available, lot of things. Big bounty programs, these are the sites, these are the sources. You can always get connected. Integrity, Hackathon, Yes We Hack, and you can contribute and earn money. Contribute to open source. Why do I say this? If you develop something and you contribute on open source, you are going to get a very good response when you go for a job interview. So be generous. This is how the whole community is developing and begin. Portswigger Academy is a very good thing to freely online learn the web security kind of thing. And resume can be sent to higher without getting into any agency. So we are done with this thing, and I think I am ready for the Q&A. ChatGPT, you understand, we have spoken basically. It is a written transformer, but it is not beyond human ingenuity. I will leave at it. Skills to exploit tools like ChatGPT will redistribute wealth. So ChatGPT is not going to replace people who want to have questions, who know how to prompt it. All right. So some small little, I think we will leave these personal hygiene things. I am ready to kind of face any questions. Armed forces people allowed to criticize the government in power. they are in policies, like they are snooping with Pegasus. All right. Okay, David, it's very kind of a is very well understood that the armed forces are totally a non-political organization. We just do not get into any controversy with policies which are promulgated by the government. And our job is very well defined, and we just don't cross our boundaries anytime. What happens, whether somebody is snooping or whether the government's programs are like that, or there is a different defined purpose to how the Ministry of Home Affairs or Ministry of Defense understands to deploy a particular technology, is just not in our syllabi. I leave that to you. We are totally, most of the times we are in kind of a defending mode of our own cybersecurity. And yes, please shoot questions. Otherwise, you can kind of find out such kind of mails that come. So you must be, yeah, you can ask some questions. Till such time, I just want to all of you to have a look at this particular mail. What wrong is in this mail? Because you keep having phishing mail coming to you, and you can really fall prey to them. So if you can point out anything, you should be able to see the problem. See what is happening here is this Hotmail customer care, but actually inside there is a different mail. So you be very aware. Don't, yes, very nice. So Piyush, that's what it is. And what happens at the second pointer is that this kind of address, this is not addressed to you particularly. So that's very indicative that you don't open anything in this particular kind of mails. You also have generic salutation, hello dear. So if your name is not there, it means they are actually not up to authentic, and it has to be done by today. It has to be done by this thing, otherwise your account will get hacked. That is a big no. So you should not open any of the attachments in that, because then you will have steganography, then you will have many other malwares coming to your system. You are being asked grammatical errors. You should see, generally a good organization will not have all that, and request for information which he is not supposed to have. So look out for such things when you are kind of this thing. And certainly past is no guarantee, present is imperfect, and future is uncertain. But failure is not when we fall down, it's when we fail to get up. So I wish you all very best. Get into the cybersecurity realm and do good to the country. Thank you all of you very much for being such an interactive, and very energetic audience. And please remember this, and my credentials and coordinates are here. So you can always connect to me for anything that I can, I have students looking forward to step into cybersecurity field, secure CES certification. What are other things I need to get? So we can, I think, connect thereafter, because I think Pranav, we are, I think, running short of time. The organizers are looking at me that when should I leave the place? And but you certainly get connected to me, and we can always chat and collaborate.
Sir,
Right.
there's an interesting question there by Homedeep. He is asking, is government against using Chinese software and products? So can you answer that?
Okay, so what we have done is we have a policy long back of banning Chinese products and Chinese apps, and a full list was given by the ministries after a long deliberation. And presently, this is one thing that government has really taken control of. And we are, first of all, procurement side, we are not going, because we have evidences of having bugs planted at the factory floor when the things are flowing into other countries. And it has been proved, the Huawei, the ZTE, the companies have been proven to have those bugs. So we have a full good policy of not having this in our own infrastructure. That is one. Second thing is, presently the procurement in the defense is happening through MII clause, that's Make in India clause. So first preference is being given to the Make in India products. And this is the government's initiative, and which is really going to bear a lot of good fruits in some times to come. So we have a list of 140 apps that are banned. We have a policy where we would not go with the Chinese OEM, that is original equipment manufacturer, in our critical infrastructure, whatever we are buying. So yes, to that extent, certainly that's a very pertinent question. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, sir. I just want to take a moment to express my gratitude for the information and insightful talk on cybersecurity that you delivered. Your expertise in the field was truly impressive, and I hope students have learned a lot from this presentation. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your knowledge with us. Your efforts in raising awareness about the cybersecurity was greatly appreciated. Thank you, sir, once again.
Always a pleasure, and thank you all. Thank you, Young India, and thank you all, and thank you, Zuno, for providing me such an opportunity, and always there. Jai Hind.